this is where the fun begins. Are you ready for fan-driven Razorback talk? For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, everybody? Welcome into an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I'm your host, Razorback Zach, from the Central Arkansas studios, alongside my broadcast partner, my buddy, my Barry Odom, Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, dude?
Hey, man. How's it going?
So, we have a lot to cover tonight. It seems something happened today and yesterday that has just got Razorback Nation all astir.
And we're not talking about Sam Mbake entering the transfer portal.
Who?
Receiver got hurt in fall camp.
Yeah.
I may have mispronounced his name, but he's gone now, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know how to pronounce half of these words, so we're lucky I'm getting a full sentence out. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, leave us a review. And by the way, we're on a podcast form. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, get your notifications on. We are across Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio. We're
everywhere, man. Every major platform except Google.
We have released our first pod-only show. Mm-hmm. And that you're only going to find these on the podcast. So if you're not listening to the podcast, you're missing out on bonus content. Who doesn't like more of us, dude? Nobody answer that. Nobody.
I've seen a couple people in some of the comments on Facebook that probably don't want to see any more of us, but too bad.
Nobody say a word. But before we jump headfirst into the return of Bobby P, before we jump into tonight's game, which is immediately following us on ESPN, I gotta admit something, MC. I was wrong again. That's a surprise. That's a surprise, right?
Hey, you know what? Don't feel bad because as far as what transpired yesterday with the official announcement today, I think we were all wrong.
I never in a million years, and we'll jump into this after the break because, like I said, we've got a lot to cover in a short amount of time. I was one of the ones, and I will first admit this, and I've been admitting this all over Twitter. I was one of the first ones when his name started getting thrown around. Oh, that's impossible. He's not coming. And damn it, I just want to be right one time.
Well, when everything started breaking, man, I had somebody text me, and I was like, man, stop it. Just stop. And then I had somebody else, and then I had somebody, and I was like, could it be?
I mean, it's entirely possible. And when you started looking at the timeline of all of this, and like I said, we'll get in deeper into it. But when you started looking at the whole timeline, it started making sense. Maybe Sam Pittman was playing the best damn game of poker I have ever freaking seen.
I mean, if it went down like that, then yeah, I'm never playing cards with old cold beer. That dude, there's no telling. But we're gonna get into all that on this side of the break. But first, I got Razorback trivia. And MC, it's right up your alley. It's a basketball question. All right. Okay.
By the way, if you want to get in on the action, leave us a question or a comment. Stones to throw. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. And tonight's Hog Wild live fan feedback on Facebook and on YouTube. Your question of the night is, in the 1994 National Championship game, who were the top three scorers and what were their numbers for the Razorbacks?
Ooh, man, that's a...
Come on, man.
That's way back with that one.
That's your jam right there.
I mean, I think I could name the three, but as far as their point totals, man,
All right, give me the three.
Big Nasty.
Of course.
And I think, if I remember right, I think Corey Beck was second.
That's 2.
And then I'm going to say Scotty was third.
You got it. You got it. Big Nasty led the way with 23 points, and then Corey Beck and, of course, Scotty Thurman both had 15. Both had 15.
I could remember that Corey had 15, but I couldn't remember because that was a little out of character for him. Normally, he was about a 6-8 point guy.
Yeah.
But he would have 9 or 10 rebounds and 9 or 10 assists.
I was still a kid at that point. So I don't remember, but I remember, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got royalty, or at least half of the royalty in the house tonight. Mama Linda's in the house. Hi, guys. What's up, Mama Linda?
Hey.
Sam Jones says, Freaky P is back, baby. We hardly saw it coming. You getting started. You getting started way too early today. Come on. Hey, my other half's in the house. I didn't think she was going to make it. But hey, she's here.
The Texas fan herself.
And of course, Hambone is off tonight. She's trying to get herself in the game, but she says, what's poppin'? Okay, so here are your bacon bits. All right. Get this, MC. Get this. Did you know that Duke and Arkansas are tied right now, 2-2? It's a 4-game series so far.
Right.
They've never played at home at either at Chapel Hill or at Bud Walton, or as Duke's called it, Walton Arena. I swear that's another thing we're gonna get.
Well, and I think that was a little bit of a troll job because in the graphic they even had the full name. They had a picture of the building in the graphic and then just called it Walton Arena. I mean, that would be the equivalent of calling Cameron Indoor just indoor.
Yeah, I think that was a knock at us to just nudge it a little bit. But here
it's a little jab. Yeah.
Can anybody name the 4 cities that Arkansas and Duke have played in? I'll give you about a second.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, lay it on me.
Denver.
Okay. That was
New York City.
That was March 31st, 1990. Duke won that game 97-83. That was the 1990 Final Four. New York City was 2. That was the preseason NIT semifinal.
Mm-hmm. Charlotte, obviously.
And, of course, Charlotte. And then
the
most recent.
I'm trying to remember where that Elite 8 game was.
Raleigh, Durham. I knew that. Just kidding. I had them backwards. Sorry.
Was it San Francisco?
You are correct.
Okay. All right.
You are correct. And I'm wrong. I'm wrong again, MC. I got Duke and
I was giving you benefit of the doubt that you were just kind of trolling Duke people with that.
Now you know we don't roll like that. Or do we? Or do we?
Yeah, I haven't been fighting on our Facebook page with somebody for the last 10 minutes. No, I wouldn't do that.
Y'all, trust me, on the other side of the break, y'all are going to want to hear all this. Holy cow. All right, your bacon bit number 2. It is the 30th anniversary of the 1994 championship. So why not play Duke? Why not play Duke? It's also the 30th anniversary of the first game ever inside of Bud Walton Arena, 92-67 against Murray State. Everybody's going to say, no, it's the Missouri game. That was the second game. That was the dedication of Bud Walton Arena.
Yeah.
That was not the first game, but that is the dedication.
See, kids, Papa's going to let you in on a little secret here. Back 30 years ago, not every single game was on TV. Okay? So the Murray State game had no TV on it. All you had was Mike Nell and Rick Schaefer and ARSN.
Yep. Oh, man, Mike Nell on a call. Oof. That gives me chills just thinking about it. Dadgum. And in your last bacon bit, with a win tonight, Eric Musselman would get his 100th win as Arkansas's head coach. So it's
been sitting on 99 for a few games.
Been sitting on 99 a few games. Okay. So before we go to break, I got a little bit of a rant. Okay. It has to do with the hiring of Bobby Petrino. Okay. We all know, 99% of us know what happened 10 years ago with the bike and the blonde. It happened. Okay. He admitted it. It was stupid. But here's the thing. Okay. Because this was a major topic on our Facebook page the last couple of days. Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody's like, he's a liar. He's this. He's that. Name calling. Don't like him. And the only reason they give is because of what happened at Arkansas. I would like the people that have never made a mistake in their life, please stand up at this time to be recognized. Anyone?
Bueller.
Okay, that was scary that we did that at the same time. But, I mean, it was 10 years ago. He's already come out and apologized. I've been saying this all day. If he is as remorseful as he says he is, then there is nobody in the entire world that will work harder. And I'm starting to sound like Tim Tebow, but there's nobody. There is nobody that's going to work harder to prove that to us than Bobby P. And he's already proving it. I mean, the grandbaby. I mean,
yeah,
the post this morning.
He hasn't forgot how to work this crowd. I mean, his first two tweets when word started to leak out, the first one was his granddaughter calling the Hogs.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, he brought up an old picture of himself and Ryan Mallett.
I hate for that one.
Hey, that one kind of hit the feels a little bit.
Yeah, that one I was not expecting that. We're gonna jump into your comments and we're gonna talk the return of Bobby Petrino on the other side of the break. You're listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. Welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback, MC, do you hear that? Did we hear that right? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ring the bell. Bobby Petrino is back on the hill. He has returned to Arkansas as Arkansas's next offensive coordinator, replacing the failed experiment known as Dan Enos. And as we were talking before the break, I don't understand why people can't forgive Bobby P. All right, and I'm going to use a moment, and I'm not going to give a lot of details. By the way, shout out to before I forget, shout out to Bigelow High School and my daughter's high school for making it to the 2A state championship. They will play Friday at noon. So congratulations to the Bigelow Panthers for making it to the state championship game.
I believe they're playing one of the NEA teams.
They are playing East
Poinsett County. Yeah.
And I will be there live and in person.
That's an NEA team.
I will be there live and in person. Anyway.
Let me give you a scouting report real quick on EPC. Right. Number 24, Dennis Gaines.
I'll watch out for him. But here, let me give you a personal experience of why I think he needs to be forgiven. All right. 2021, my life fell apart. I lost everything because of me, because of my decision, my stupid decisions. Okay. I spent a year away from everything and everybody, fighting my way back. Okay. Not going to give any details, but fighting my way back. Lo and behold, I earned it all back, including my other half. Yes, I worked it out with Katie, and we are stronger, better, and closer than we have ever been. So yes, it is possible for people to change, especially over a decade. All right. Now, am I saying that what he did, am I condoning his actions? No. Okay. I'm not. All right. He was trying to get a little booty on the side on a motorcycle. Okay. Allegedly. And he allegedly wrecked the motorcycle. And he allegedly got his butt kicked. But that's another story for another time. But, guys, it was 10 years ago. This man has been humbled. And he's even posted it. He said, it's going to be difficult for some people, but he is grateful for the opportunity. Now, whether he's blowing smoke up our ass or what, we don't know. We've got a year. We've got a year to mull this over and see what happens. Because I guarantee you, in Little Rock, on Labor Day weekend, or is it earlier than that this year?
I'd have to look. It's either August 31st or September 1st. I don't remember, but same. Your point is valid.
Let it go. Give him a second chance. Okay? Let him prove it. Give him a chance to prove it. Everybody deserves a second chance. Okay? So get over it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox now, and MC, I'm gonna ask you a question. What kind of an impact does this make, not only within the SEC, but within the Arkansas program? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, that was a hell of a 24-hour time frame.
That was pretty wild. I will say this on the impact. From a PR perspective, you're already seeing Arkansas being talked about on a national level again in a positive light. Okay. The ticker that's in Times Square that has, news headlines and stuff rolling on it. We made the ticker in Times Square. I saw video of it today on Twitter. Wow. And they actually put it up there. It was an ESPN headline that come across the ticker in Times Square, and it says, Petrino to return to Arkansas as OC.
Even Pat McAfee showing us love.
Pat McAfee, the Kelsey brothers, they brought it up on their podcast.
Right.
You can't buy that type of publicity. And as far as the impact it has on the game itself, TBD, to be determined, because you still got to fix the offensive line. Okay. You can bring in the guru of gurus, which I think we have done from an offensive perspective. But if you don't have the offensive line problems fixed, you're going to see similar results to what we saw this year.
So let's go over the Hog Wild Live fan feedback, because it is popping off tonight.
It's blowing up, man.
It is popping off tonight. Leighton Joe Frazier from the Hog Mafia says, "What's up?" I'm not going to say all that because my kid's watching, but y'all know what it means.
You can figure it out if you.
Right? Jesse Randall Thurman, our boy Jesse's in the house. He says, let's go. And then he's also saying that the pod exclusive was good stuff. Hey, y'all go
appreciate
check
that,
it out.
Jesse.
Spotify, Amazon, go check it out.
Apple,
it
everywhere.
It as of this moment, though, it is kind of invalid. We're gonna have to do it again.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, there's still obviously when we recorded that was that Monday night?
That was Monday night.
Obviously, we didn't know what we were on the cusp of. We were at the top of the roller coaster and we hadn't topped the hill just quite yet.
Right. Cody Blasco says, Cody, y'all, I hate to be that guy.
I put this on Facebook a few minutes ago.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's PET, not PAT.
Okay, here's how you remember it.
I love you guys.
Bobby is a pet rhino. He's not a pat rhino. He's a pet rhino.
You know what?
PETRINO.
I'm going to leave that one alone. Jason Freimeyer says, "Don't trust Bobby." Why, Jason? Tell me why, buddy. Tell me why.
Yep. Jason, this is an algebra equation. I need you to show your work and how you came to that conclusion.
Oh, God, don't do that. Don't do that. My head's going to start hurting.
Hey, that's son of a math teacher right there. So.
Oh, that hurts. And then, of course, from the YouTube Hog Wild Live fan feedback, there's my little one. Making sure she's doing her homework and not playing Minecraft or whatever it's called, Futurama. T-Mad from the Man Cave says, "I'm here. Also be asleep, but I'm here." Cody says, "Luke Haas, DeBinion returning, and the great freshman running back also coming back." That is true. There's a lot of returning. A lot of players are returning. One is yet to be named, but I think we all know he is on his way out the door. Mama Linda says, "The last time we did a wideout against a top 10, we won. Can anybody name the last wideout that we did?"
I can.
Who was it, MC?
If my memory serves me correct, I believe that was Auburn.
That was your first show.
Yep, that was the debut night.
That was debut night for one Marcus MC Carlton and Leighton. Joe Frazier in the house against us. Shout out from the Hawg Mafia. We love you guys. Hey, we love all you guys that hang out with us. We would not be here without y'all. So y'all are the reason we're here. So and of course Sam's calling me out because I messed up in the first segment. We're not going to relive that.
You were trolling Duke fans. That's all that was.
I was. Brandon says Bobby P comes out before tip off on a motorcycle to call the Hogs. I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to try to predict the future here, MC, and I'm hoping that your the little blood vessel in your head doesn't pop when I say this. Arkansas goes into halftime down by about 8 points.
Okay.
And then, they start their halftime festivities, and the next thing you hear is Hunter Yurachek at center court, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to bring out head coach of the Arkansas Razorback football team, Sam Pittman, and dude, just like Michael Buffer, and the new offensive coordinator. Welcome back home, Bobby Petrino." And the roof comes off of Bud Walton, and we just tear it up in the second half and just send Duke home crying.
Whatever it takes, man. I just want to win
chills,
tonight.
Man.
I just want to win. My perspective that I had in my head was a little more WWE, but same principle. We bring Sam out to thank the fans for being a part of the season. Blah blah blah. He's doing his little stick, and all of a sudden you hear static. And then you hear Living Color, Cult of Personality.
Yes!
And then out walks Bobby P.
I swear to God, we're living in 2011 again, man. What has happened? If you are a WWE fan, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Holy cow. But I just have one thing to say to that. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, let's go back to this. Let's go back to these comments. And I lost my place here. There we go. Brandon, Cody Blasco says Bobby P is going to bring Arkansas championships. Here's the deal. Y'all got to remember, he is not the head coach. He is the offensive coordinator. He will help bring Arkansas championships. Although I have a theory of this whole thing. Sam Jones says rehiring Freaky P is an incredible game of high-stakes poker. If it doesn't work out, then it won't just be Coach Sam Pittman being terminated. It'll be Yurachek and president as well. Better make it work. Yeah, there's a lot riding on this hire. I will agree to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people putting their livelihoods on the line here.
Yeah. Chuck Pendergrass says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Chuck?" Eric Jernigan says this is a win-win for Bobby P. Team turns around next year. All the credit will go to him. If it's a disaster, everybody will say, well, even Bobby couldn't fix this mess, and Sammy will go down in flames. Look, man, I haven't.
That's a great point.
That's a true statement if I've ever heard one. That's a true statement if I've ever heard one. We're gonna try to get to all you guys' comments. Holy cow, they are coming in droves.
Yeah. Everybody's jacked up, man.
Okay, all right. I can see this too.
It does have the motorcycle intro.
I can see this too. I can see that too. But and by the way, MC, if you'll start scrolling through comments because it's popping off. I'm not gonna be able to catch them all.
Holy cow!
But guys, we're at a turning point. All right. Now I want you to walk with me through this. All right, because everything happens so fast, and you cannot tell me this is purely coincidental here, MC.
Okay.
Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher. What? Friday?
It was the week.
No, it's the week before. It was the week before.
It was the weekend that they played Mississippi State. Because it was the same weekend that we were playing FIU. So next to last week of the season.
Okay. So they fire Bobby P. Okay. A couple of days later, Yurachek comes out and says, we're sticking with Sam Pittman. And that's about the time when all the I don't know starts rolling in. Every question he was asked, I don't know. That's where I think, Chloe, cover your ears, Chloe.
I mean,
that's what I think this son bitch knew what he was doing and playing the best damn game of poker I've ever seen.
I mean, it's entirely possible because if you look at the timeline of A&M goes and drums Mississippi State, and then the following day is when Jimbo was fired. And by the way, we kind of have to thank A&M for doing what they did, because if Jimbo doesn't get fired, Bobby's not available.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too, is I think he also knew when he wasn't selected as the interim that he wasn't going to be hanging around much longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I think you've got that there, too. But, man, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the fact that Bobby Petrino is back at the University of Arkansas. And the thing is, y'all, and here's the deal. I gotta pull this quote up real quick, MC.
Okay.
Because our boy Loki said something earlier today.
Loki had the flamethrower out today.
My dude has finally come out of his shell. And yes. I am here for it. I am here for it. And this is where my only F-bomb is gonna hit. All right. He says, I love the fact that for most of the season, people talk mad stuff about the program. I got to clean this up. I can't say it all. They demand outright change. Fire Enos, fire Pitt, bench KJ, bench Rocket, bench everyone. We love Pitt. We hate Pitt. I can't believe they didn't fire Pitt. I'm sure glad he is still here so we can win it all next season. Now it's the off season and things are shuffling around and people are like, please don't change the thing I have been bitching about for months. What a fair weather cluster.
Yeah. We are unhinged, but we are passionate.
But here's the thing. All right. He goes on and says this, and he makes a very valid point. He says, I love the way these guys are judging Bobby like Nutt wasn't accused of the exact same thing. And a huge number of folks worship the ground he walks on, and we're all hyped about the slim rumors of him returning in the OC spot, which was never going to happen. He's retired. And this is coming from someone who thinks Nutt is one of the best coaches we ever had and is far from a fan of old Bob. This is Loki talking. This is his quote.
Yeah.
Booch, by the way, dude, he is killing it on our Facebook page. He's our social media manager. Big shout out to him and Sarah both. They've come on strong. But yeah, I mean, y'all are sitting here dogging, not y'all, as in the people here watching, but the fan base. There's people out there dogging Bobby P, but praising Nutt when Nutt was accused of the same thing.
Well, it was proven that all of that went down. If you want to go dig into archives of that, it's out there.
We're not. That's a whole nother animal.
That's a pod exclusive.
That's a whole nother animal for all of that.
Hey, I do want to post one comment here to kind of get us back on track, because I think this is a really good point. Carrie Story, shout out NEA. That's another one of my NEA boys. What's a realistic ceiling for next year now? Also, how many wins does it take to keep BMFP around? I think as long as Sam has a job, BMFP is going to have a job.
Well, okay. So yes and no.
Okay.
Let me counter that.
All right.
We all know Bobby P's wanting to become a head coach again somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So what has to happen, and here's what might happen, is Bobby P may only be around for a year. Okay. Not because he does a bad job, but because a head coaching position will come open somewhere and they're going to throw the money bag at him. So that's where he may, and again, he may be around for a while. Now, the other side of that, of what happens, he may be the next coach in waiting. And if that happens, the roof's fixing to come off the place.
Could be. I mean, and I can see, after reading the interview that he gave to, I think it was Chris Lowe or Pete Thamel, one of the two, with ESPN. He talked about, he was waiting for an opportunity to come back here and make things right. Yeah, I don't know if it's about the money for him anymore. I think it's more about redemption. At this point.
And I think, and I know. Look, if anybody knows about trying to redeem themselves, it's me. Hey, real quick,
we've all been there in one way or the other.
We're all about giving shout outs, and I want to take a moment and congratulate James Harris.
That's where I was headed.
I've known this young man for quite a while, and unfortunately, he did not follow in his father's footsteps to become a Marine. He joined my team, the Army. But he did National Guard. So shout out to him. He enlisted today. So congratulations, young man. And best of luck to you. Let me know, James, let me know when he ships off to basic. But man, it's been a weird 24 hours. Because 24 hours ago, it went from, oh, hell, man, what are we going to do? It's burning down, to, holy crap, Arkansas is back.
Well, I mean, I was at, my daughter had a game in a basketball tournament yesterday afternoon, and I was trying to get texts coming in and stuff, and it was just, people were just blowing up my phone about this.
Yeah, hey, we've got more royalty, the other half
there we go.
of the royal families in the house.
There's
Casey
the other half.
Sutton. She kicked cancer's ass twice. She is our number one fan. What is up, Casey? I had to give her a heads up on the show because Sunday and Monday, it was going to be a whirlwind. Now I've toned it down a little bit. But she wants to know, do you think Jimbo will coach again or ride into the sunset? There's smoke that he's going to go to like Vanderbilt, but I doubt it.
Well, so the thing with Jimbo is, if he decides he wants another job, he can take it and still get his buyout money from A&M, because that buyout was unconditional.
I was going to say there's a no condition clause in his buyout. Where was that one comment that you had said from Kerry, asking about next season?
Right here.
Here's the deal. Let me circle back to this and we'll keep going.
Okay.
A realistic ceiling for next season, it all depends. It's way too early.
Yeah.
Way too early to be talking about that. But as it sits right now, I 7 wins.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. We're going into year 5 with Sam.
Okay.
You bring in Petrino as your offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I mean, I would think you got to go 6-6, right?
Well, I mean, when you, again, speculation at this point, I mean, here's the deal. Automatically going into any coaching change, whether it be coordinator or head coach, the automatic benchmark, 6-6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's level ground. That's, 50-50. You're it's not overachieving and it's not underachieving.
So I'm going to go here because, and I'm not a fan of answering questions with a question, but that's what I'm going to do here.
That confuses the hell out of me. Why do you do that?
So in regards to Petrino taking over the offense, okay. Right now we got to assume that Travis Williams and the defensive staff is going to stay in place.
Okay.
Can Petrino take the offense and make it 1 touchdown per game better than what the team was this year?
Allow me to retort, and I will answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Wait, answer your question. Anyway, who was Travis Williams was a linebacker at what school many, many years ago? Louisville.
At school or in the pros?
Louisville. He was at Louisville the same time Bobby was.
See, I thought he was at the Falcons.
Oh, no. Yeah, he was at the Falcons. My bad. He was at the Falcons. See, I'm screwing up all over the place. I'm telling you. I'm all over the place, man. This is why you're here.
But if you, let's say that you say yes, and he can make this team 1 touchdown per game better. Okay. Now go look at our schedule from this season that just ended and count up how many games we lost by a touchdown or less.
Okay. I think you beat BYU.
Yeah.
Okay.
LSU.
And I think, and we're not counting the first 2 because those were sleepwalking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that their wins, but the margin of victory is a whole lot bigger. Because if we know Bobby P for anything, it's running the score up. It is all gas. Nope, I'm not going to say that. It is.
We're back to FTS. Feed the studs.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. I think you beat LSU and bring the boot home. And I'll even go as far as saying you beat A&M.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know about Bama. I think Bama would be a whole lot closer than it was.
Well, I mean, I'm not ready to go out and predict actual victories, but I'm just saying, you look at how many close calls Arkansas had this year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hey, I'm going to throw this comment up here by Kerry.
Yeah, go ahead.
he is exactly right. It says, this morning I was told this staff gets no grace. It's win or go home. And that was from Hit That Line show on ESPN Arkansas. It is. I mean, without coming out and saying it.
Right.
This is it. If he doesn't win, I mean, this is it. This is Sam's whatever cliche you want to add to the end of it.
So here's another really good point that ties to Bobby, and I don't think anybody else has brought this up yet.
Oh Lord,
Mama Linda. Okay.
Yep.
I hope fans realize Bobby isn't getting what he had his first time. Ryan, Tyler, Joe Adams, Childs, Greg, Wright, Kobe Hamilton, Niall Davis, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, none of those guys are walking through the door. But what he's got to do is he's got to find the new version of those guys.
Yeah.
I think some of the guys that could replace. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Some of the guys that could be the 2024 version of those names mentioned. Okay. I could see Isaiah Satania playing a similar role to what Joe Adams played. I'm not saying he's as good as Joe Adams.
You're not the only person that has said that, though.
But I could see him in that slot position where Coach Petrino always had Joe Adams. I could see Satania in that position. Now you gotta fill some pieces. You gotta go get your offensive line. You may or may not have to go get a quarterback. We don't know. KJ may be
first thing.
We don't know.
First thing we need to do is go get an offensive line.
Yes,
because it does not matter who the hell is that quarterback if you ain't got a line to protect him.
Yes.
Now, my first, and this is where I'm going to kind of play stupid. I know the answer. I am just going to play stupid here. My first thing is as offensive coordinator, I've got a meeting with the entire offensive staff with Sam Pittman. And the first thing I do, I don't go over plays. I don't, I look Cody Kennedy right in the face and go, pack your shit and get out.
I don't know that that'll have to happen.
Excuse the language. I'm sorry.
There was a report that I saw this morning from Brandon Marcello.
Okay.
And I believe he's still with 247 Sports.
All right.
Marcello was reporting that it's highly likely that Cody Kennedy is going to head to Mississippi State to work for Jeff Lebby.
Well, we also obviously can mark that school off the list of KJ going to.
So if that happens, and I know we're not a Mississippi State show, but if that happens, that also tells me who Mississippi State is going to target for their offensive coordinator.
YMC. Who could that be?
That could be the former coworker of Cody Kennedy and the brother-in-law of the newly hired head coach, Jeff Lebby, Kendall Browse.
Oh! You don't say.
Now, I'm not reporting that it's a done deal, but Brandon Marcello, very trusted guy with 247 Sports. He used to be at Arkansas back, and then he went to Auburn, and I'm not sure where he's at now, which school, but he's still in the SEC.
Well, and one thing, too, and we have to mention this. This is all conjecture at this point, okay? This is all conjecture of wins, because we don't even know what the roster is going to look like. We don't know who's all staying, who's all going. This is just the train on this is just now starting. So,
yeah,
come spring, I'd say right around SEC football spring meetings, we can start talking about it. But there's going to be, I can guarantee you, there's going to be a mass exodus of players.
This one
of players. See,
there you go.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Another one of my NEA boys coming in there. Carrie Story coming in says there will be a mass exodus of players this summer, and it will not be a bad thing.
It won't. And now you're going to see some names like we saw with the defense. You're going to see some names. It's going to sting a little bit. But I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to tell you guys right now, trust the process. You have to trust the process. Yep. If we are going to support this staff, you have to trust to know that they can handle this. Okay? They're going to make the right decisions. Okay? It's all about getting the right pieces in the right spots. Okay? And
speaking of that,
this whole thing of, well, we shouldn't have hired Bobby. There's more qualified people out there. Blah, blah. I get it.
That's debatable.
Well,
That's
but
debatable.
here's my thing. There may be more qualified people out there,
Mm-hmm.
but none of them would have brought this fan base back together faster than Bobby P.
I would say that the most of them would not even consider taking this job.
No.
I mean, let's make no mistake here. Let's call this what it is. It is an act of desperation. Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
We've got breaking news. We will have live reports
All
coming in
right.
from Bud Walton very shortly.
Hambone is in the building.
Hambone is in it. She's been fighting. She's been fighting all day long trying to get in. So shout out to Sarah. Anyway, go ahead, my man. Go ahead.
So, okay. Act of desperation. Both sides very desperate. Sam, desperate to do whatever it takes to win games, hang on to his job. Okay. Petrino, desperate to stay in the SEC. Okay. Head coaching thing, he's probably given up on that happening. But he gets an opportunity to not only stay in the SEC, but go back to the place where he made his name in the SEC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in his own words, he gets a chance to go back and do whatever he can to make it right. So desperate times call for desperate actions. This is an act of desperation. I have no doubts about that.
It is. And you know what? Given the state of things, I'm okay with it.
I'm in full-blown Al Davis mode now. Just win, baby.
Well, and you know me, when the news happened, the first thing I texted you said you were all in.
Yep, I was in.
And I what did I tell you? I said buy me back in.
Yeah.
Because we've been through this before. We were right here a year ago or so talking about Dan Enos and the next
not
OC.
This level of excitement, but yes.
Well, the fan base was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to get back." We see what happened. I'm a little gun shy when it comes to this football team right now.
Well, and so here's another point to why you should be gun shy. Nostalgia hires very rarely work out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was hired back at Louisville a few years ago to be head coach.
How long was he there in his second stint?
5. I looked it up today. He was there 5 years.
Okay, so he had 4 good years. Good years, and then
those are known as the Lamar Jackson years. So Heisman winner Lamar Jackson.
There's the ceiling on this from 8-9 to at the very least 6-6.
Well,
at
okay,
very least.
So we can't talk about what games we're going to win and such right now because the portal's got to happen, injuries are going to happen, defections are going to happen. But let's say somehow this goes from 4-8 in 2023 to 7-5. 7-5 next year would be an insane improvement.
Yeah, it would. But at the same time, if we still have, and I'll say it on behalf of every all 38 people and everybody that's going to listen and watch this in the next few days. If we still have Cody Kennedy, that dampens that record.
I will say it right now. He's not going to be here. If the report of him going to Mississippi State is not true, he won't be here next year. I might not write it in concrete, but I'd write it in permanent marker. How about that?
I'll take it in dry erase marker. I don't give a damn.
Carey's coming in hot with the takes tonight, man. He's got another good one here. He says, desperate people can be very dangerous.
Yes.
We have nothing to lose. SEC, fear the hog. Woo pig. Everybody's heard the old story about when you get an injured animal and it's cornered. It's coming out of that corner one way or the other, okay? You get an animal that's been beat up and injured, and you got it backed into a corner. When it comes out, it's got nothing to lose. Yeah. So,
Matt Hart's in the building, and he's giving us a thinking emoji. Or
is that okay?
That's one of these.
Okay, my old eyes were deceiving me there.
I don't know what that means, but it means something. Okay, so as we travel through the biggest news of the last 48 hours. We've heard rumblings. Does KJ Jefferson transfer out?
I really think it's if I had to put a percentage on it right now, I would say it is 65% go, 35% stay.
Okay.
I'm trying to confirm something right now. I may have a little breaking news for us.
Oh, hold on. I got my cue ready.
Well, I don't have it yet. So
let me know. Let me know.
I'm trying to get I reached out to Hambone to get a report from inside Bud Walton Arena.
So I don't understand the fans because we put a post out there and these guys started fighting. Have we become so fractured that we're infighting now and just finding anything to fight about? That's neither here nor there.
Yes, we have.
That's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there.
Okay, so little breaking news here from inside of Bud Walton Arena, courtesy of Sarah Swish Hambone. She says Tremon Mark is 100% out tonight.
Well, I mean, that was kind of...
I mean, everybody kind of assumed it, but we had not heard the official word.
I think they hold him out at least another week or two.
She's inside the arena. She says he's out, so I'm running with it.
You know, on the other, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we talk Duke, Arkansas.
Oh baby.
MC's ready. MC is ready. Y'all aren't going to want to miss it. You're watching and listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back in 60 seconds. Is he gonna play? Did I break my system? All right, you've heard that. You know what time it is. Welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. It's time for pregame.
Woo,
Arkansas, Duke. It is a matchup 30 years in the making. 30 is like the magic number right now. 30 is like the magic number right now. So write it down. Here it is. It's tonight. There's no date on it. Number 7, Duke Blue Devils, whatever you want to call them.
Dukies.
Come to Bud Walton Arena in the ACC SEC Challenge. It is 8:15 tip-off time on ESPN. Check your local listings for the channel in your area. So MC.
We talked about right before the break,
right?
Sarah Hambone Swish Vogel inside Bud Walton Arena saying Tremon Mark is out. Mason Choate is reporting that Jalen Graham is on the court warming up with the team. So Mark may be out, but it looks like Graham is going to be back in tonight. So that's a big piece, man, because Arkansas is going to need all the size they can get in this game tonight.
Yeah. Cody Blasco comes in and says Trayvon Mark has to see a back specialist before he can get cleared to play, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but
yeah, look, y'all, we may be without Tremon Mark for several weeks.
And that's okay, guys, because this gives it's the next man up mentality, and it gives them a chance to get another piece of the puzzle in there.
I would rather him, if he's got to be out, I would rather him be out November, December, January, and then come back February, March.
Oh, absolutely. Brad Staten. I've had a lot of conversations with him the last couple of days. Good dude. Got to know him a little bit more. Says, are the 94 championship team players at Bud tonight? That would be great to see. They are supposed to be doing some kind of reunion tonight for the 1994 champ, because after all, it is the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Have we played that card a little too much here recently? I asked this a couple shows ago. Tonight, notwithstanding, because, again, 30th anniversary, you got Duke in the building. Pull out all the stops tonight.
Yeah.
But are we leaning too much on this nostalgic legacy moment?
I mean, that's a fair question. But at the same time, and I'm going to date myself here, because this has been 30 years, because it has been so long ago, because you have an entire generation of people who don't understand what hog ball was in the 90s, you want to throw this out there to make sure everybody doesn't forget. And the fans of 35 years and up, you're never going to forget. Okay?
Oh, no.
But prime example, when I told my daughter, like before we hired Muss, I was telling my daughter about, she's 17, telling her about the heyday of what I call the golden era of hog ball. 1990 through 1996.
Yeah.
Arkansas was the winningest basketball program in the country for those 6 seasons. She knew that there was a title, but she didn't realize, she knew, but she didn't know. And she's like, wait a minute, Arkansas was that good? I was like, oh,
Arkansas was that good.
Child. Yes. It was a religion.
Yeah, I mean, my 14-year-old asked me the same thing, and I haven't shown her the 94 championship game in its entirety yet, but I've shown her highlights. So she's getting to that age where she's starting to like, the Razorbacks just like Dad, because after all, her dad is Razorback Zach. So she's starting to get there. We're not quite there yet. I did show her the 9 overtime game back in 2001. So we're getting there. Let's see what else we got over in the Hog Wildlife fan feedback. Casey wants to know if either one of us are going to be at the game on December 16th. I'm trying to be.
TBD, to be determined.
Yeah, that is to be determined.
It's still a maybe right now.
Cody Blasco's already throwing out a score prediction. He says 74-71. I'm going to up the ante, and I'm going to go 76-72.
Yeah. Yeah, I had already decided that if I gave a score prediction tonight, it was going to be 76-72, no matter what.
Okay, so let's go down to brass tacks here. All right, let's talk Moneyball.
Okay.
We all saw what happened in the Bahamas in the battle for Atlantis.
Yep, a little bit ugly.
Are we surprised at the outcome, knowing that this is how Muss's teams usually are? Or is this cause for concern later on down the road? And they're not as gelled as we thought they were, because they've been kind of backsliding since the Purdue game, right? I mean,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Well, okay, so I will say this. Right now, North Carolina is playing Tennessee. And that game is sitting at halftime right now, and North Carolina's up 20. So that makes me feel a little bit better about maybe Carolina was a little bit better than I was giving them credit for, because Tennessee has already got a couple of big quality wins on under their belt this year, including one of the exhibition games, like what we had with Purdue, they had with Michigan State.
Right.
You can say it's exhibition, whatever. They still went up there and won. Carolina's pretty good. I'll just say it. Carolina's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is the type of game. Muss has been like a madman in the lab since they got back from the Bahamas. He had a 14-hour film session, and he didn't have one of his GAs or anything cut the film up or edit the game film. He went in and did it himself because he wanted to analyze every single solitary play, try to figure out what went wrong and get it fixed before this game, because Muss knows this is a huge opportunity tonight.
Well, and if I read that same report, but correct me if I'm wrong, each player got a breakdown of every play they were in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when Musk goes into that kind of mode,
yeah,
look out.
Look, I think we play better tonight.
We have to. We have to because this is it. Look, you're going to have the 94 team there. I'm betting double or nothing that Nolan Richardson's going to be there.
Yeah, he'll be there.
You know, I kind of hope Mike Krzyzewski shows up, but I doubt it.
He ain't coming.
That would just be the icing on the cake. But they have to make a statement with this game. Okay? Now, if you lose by 2 or 3, still not bad. Okay?
I can stomach that.
You can't win them all.
Right.
You can't win them all. And basketball, long season.
Yep.
Okay? But here's the key. What if you had to give a key to the game, what would it be?
One. You just want one?
Hell, give me 3 of them.
Okay. Number 1, cut down the turnovers.
Yes.
Got to take care of the ball. Number 2, better shot selection. Okay. we can't run the 5-out offense, meaning all 5 guys outside the 3-point line with no movement and everybody just standing there. And we end up taking a wild-ass 3-pointer that's contested with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. You've got to have an inside-out game. You got to have guys cutting to the basket. We got to have dribble penetration, drive and dish, or drive and get fouled. Number 3, transition defense. Transition defense in the past has been what Arkansas has hung their hat on. Transition defense so far this season has sucked. It has been terrible. I can't tell you how many times between Memphis and North Carolina we got outrun down the floor and they got easy buckets off of it. You've got to get somebody back there and stop that fast break. Duke is going to want to run. And to answer Mama Linda's question, yes, Duke does have a couple 7-footers, I believe. I believe they've got us on size by quite a bit. You've got to get the transition defense. Somebody's got to step up and make some shots. Somebody, battle L. Ellis. I mean, I need an APB for L. Ellis. We haven't seen him since probably the Old Dominion game.
What has happened to him?
I don't know, man. He lost his mojo somewhere along the way, and he's got to find it.
Ronnie Beulah says the Bahamas was a disaster for Arkansas. I honestly think Eric Muss really regrets that tournament. I'm gonna disagree. I see where he's coming from.
I do too,
but I disagree simply because of the fact of the teams that he played.
Yeah.
Okay. The teams that were there. I don't think he regrets it because it was a good evaluation of where this team actually was in comparison to where they need to be to get to March.
I'm going to say this right now. The 2 teams we lost to in the Bahamas, Memphis and North Carolina, will both make the Sweet 16. I'm telling you.
Oh, absolutely. But
both of those teams are Sweet 16 teams minimum.
Don't tell Bum.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
if he sees this and calls me out on it, I'm going to say somebody manipulated the film. It was AI. I will not admit to it. But Memphis is a pretty good team.
Ronnie Bewley says, no, it was the court. I'm a basketball player. That court was slippery, and he could not place his foot down. Go back and watch the tournament. You'll understand what I'm saying. Watch his game tonight and Bud Walton Arena. Trust.
There was a lot of slipping and sliding.
There was a lot of slipping, and
not just in our games. I watched most of the tournament, and there was a lot of slipping and sliding going on.
So let's play both sides of this coin real quick.
Okay.
If Arkansas wins this game, no matter the score, if Arkansas wins this game, what does that do? Does that shift the momentum to us again? Because this is, and again, we've said it. They're the number 3 team in the country. Yes, we know it was exhibition. It doesn't count. However, if you're a Razorback fan, it counts because apparently it's our Super Bowl. But my point is, this is the second top 10 team that we would have knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
Does that put us back in contention, or would you rather stay unranked until you get to SEC play?
For me personally, right now, the ranking it's not worth the paper it's written on right now.
So
what I'm more concerned with right now is the KenPom, which is like the old school RPI power rankings. Okay. Right now, we are in the 70s in KenPom.
Okay.
Now, KenPom is the one.
For those that don't know,
I'm about to explain it.
You beat me to it. I will shut up and sit. I'll sit here and shut up.
KenPom divides the teams into 4 quadrants. Okay, you have quadrant 1 for your top elite teams, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, right now as it stands, the loss to UNC Greensboro, okay, that would be a quad 3 loss. Okay, pretty bad loss right now.
Okay,
Memphis is quad 2, North Carolina is a quad 1. Okay, the losses. So let's say Memphis goes on a tear and they win about 15 games straight.
Okay.
There is a chance that when the KenPom standings, and it's all computer-based, when it goes through its algebra formula or whatever it does to come up with your KenPom ranking, instead of that Memphis loss being a quad 2 loss, the more they win, the better that loss looks. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it actually makes a total sense.
So right now, we are in the 70s.
Okay.
In KenPom. You win tonight, you're going to take a pretty significant jump. Probably, I would say 15 points to put you back around 55 or so.
Okay.
As, if we win tonight, Duke goes on, that win looks even better. And so that helps you jump back into KenPom. KenPom comes in big when you talk about NCAA tournament seedings. So the higher your KenPom, the better chance you are to get a good NCAA tournament seed.
You're like in my head or something, because before I ask the question, you've got that answer already there. Hey, I've got here in the Hawg pen, I've got YouTube TV multi-view, which is
multi-view is awesome,
amazing. If you guys don't have YouTube TV, get it. It is a godsend come March, believe me. Watching the North Carolina-Tennessee game was one of the 3 I've got on. This is the first time since 2006 Tennessee has allowed 60 points in a game.
In a half.
Excuse me.
Yeah, in a half. They had given up 60 at half.
So when it comes to so basically what I'm getting from what you're explaining here is the rankings don't mean a thing and shouldn't mean a thing to us regular fans until it gets closer to March, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you want to keep an eye on your KenPom. I mean, you don't want your kid, like right now, it's the red light that goes around like this, in the circle, like an ambulance or something. The red light's kind of going off right now because you want to get that KenPom out of the 70s. Okay, about as low as a team with as much hype around it as Arkansas. You don't want your KenPom falling below like 30, 35. So we got some work to do there.
So what happens? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say the things that could help right now. You want Memphis to win a lot of games. You want North Carolina to win a lot of games. And you want UNC Greensboro to go through their conference and end up being one of those teams that gets the automatic bid.
Okay. Because that loss won't look so bad if that happens.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay. Exactly. And and of course the end all be all is wins cure all problems.
There it is.
Hey, that's universal across all sports.
Exactly. Baxter Meeks said, just got out of church. Can I get a summary of what's gone on so far? I've gone off the rails a few times. MC's had to reel me back in. I've been wrong a grand total of 3 times. And by the way, Bobby Petrino's back at Arkansas.
Yeah.
So nothing big.
So nothing you hadn't missed anything too big.
Anything. Yeah.
I talked to Baxter. Baxter's another one of my NEA guys. I talked to him before he went to church.
Coming out tonight.
Yeah, NEA's coming hard tonight, man. It's a good one. I mean, we've talked about Bobby P. We talked about a little bit on tonight's game with Duke, and we talked about some of the holier than thou crowd that think Bobby P shouldn't have been rehired. So,
sorry, it's just.
And Zach's got his mind in the gutter. So
no,
nothing out of the ordinary.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never
just be glad. Hey, we just need to be glad Hambone's not on here with us.
Oh God. Oh man. So, in essence, I mean, you've got Duke tonight, and then you got Furman, and I think next Saturday is the
Oklahoma,
or what is it? The Cardinal Classic?
Yeah, whatever they're calling it.
Crimson and Cardinal Classic. Crimson and Cardinal Classic. Those two games right there, to me, in the grand scheme of the what we call the non-conference, which Oklahoma will soon be a conference game.
Right.
Those are pretty important to kind of evaluate once again where this team is. Wouldn't you? I mean, is that what because you're the basketball guru here.
Yeah. I mean, this is, it's another early season test. I mean, I read something the other day that I think we are possibly the only team ever outside, the only Power 5 team that is not in the ACC to play Carolina and Duke back-to-back.
No, we are the first. I read that.
I thought we were. I thought we were the first.
You are correct. You are correct. Like I said at the beginning of the show, let me take this comment down here. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is the 30th anniversary of the first ever game played inside of Bud Walton Arena. It is by the way, have you seen the pictures of the students and the fans camping out?
Camp Bud? Yeah.
Camp Bud? Wow. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And must we trust.
Hang on. I got to come off the top rope on the Duke fans here for a minute, because they took some of those pictures of Camp Bud and retweeted them and said, the Duke effect in play.
Yeah.
Nah, son. Nah.
I saw that.
This is just how we do games at Bud Walton Arena, the basketball palace of Mid-America, okay? This happens for conference games. This happens for Texas A&M. This happens for Georgia. This happens for Vanderbilt. This is just how SEC basketball at the basketball palace of Mid-America rolls, okay? So your little 9,500 seat indoor Cameron pavilion crap hole, whatever you want to call it.
It's not even called an arena.
No, this is how it's done.
You call yourself a freaking blue blood, but you don't even have an arena. You have a pavilion. It's a pavilion.
With the pinky out. Pavilion with the pinky out,
It's almost as bad as the chandeliers at an Ole Miss tailgate.
Inside the pop-up tent. Yeah.
Ew.
I've never understood that. But
now,
anyway.
I will say this on the flip side of that coin. Damn, Loki. Maybe it's a hellhole. And he says, Camp Bud. That sounds like something that gets a dude in a hockey mask to chase you.
I mean,
here's the thing, okay? This is the first time Duke has stepped foot inside of Bud Walton Arena.
Ever.
They have zero idea of what is fixing to hit them.
Now they play in some tough environments, okay?
They have look, I guarantee you they have never played an environment that is as loud, as rowdy, and as ruckus as Bud Walton.
Look, I'm gonna say this, it's gonna sound cocky, it's gonna sound arrogant.
Bring it!
But it's also gonna be facts, okay? There are good environments. North Carolina has a good environment. Michigan State has a good environment. Kansas has an excellent environment. Duke has a good environment in their little 9,500 pavilion with the pinky out.
That's so cute.
But there is no basketball environment that can match the passion, the noise, the absolute flat-out hell-raising that you're going to see tonight from some vintage Bud Walton by God Arena.
Listen,
Yeah.
All right, that's a damn, I'm falling down.
Yeah.
With everybody saying Bud Walton Arena. So
I like it.
You've got you've got your blue bloods, obviously. You've got Kansas, you got Duke, you got North Carolina, you got Indiana. We'll throw Indiana in there just because of past legacies and stuff like that. Okay. You got your Villanovas occasionally. However, there is nothing, and I have said this and I will say this until my dying day, there is nothing more dangerous sounding. There is nothing more intimidating than 20,000 people saying the three most dangerous words in all of collegiate athletics. Woo, pig, sue. You hear that first woo, that first Hawg call, and it echoes off the roof of that arena. Suit me up.
we have confirmation that Nolan is indeed in the building.
The king is
shout
in the
out
house.
John Neighbors for the tweet. He got a picture of Nolan standing on the court, talking with somebody. I'm not sure who he's talking to, but Nolan's in the house.
So I'm gonna take a pot shot if I can, MC.
Right.
Everybody keeps saying bring the slobbering Hawg back.
Okay.
They did. It's on the court 4 times.
Yeah, but it's not where it should be. It's not where it should be. And
let me tell you this right now. They need to redo that center court. They need to take the state outline, and if they're gonna do it better.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my beef with the state outline.
It looks like trash.
The east side, the Mississippi River side, is not a straight line.
No.
Give me the old school actual outline of the state with the zigzags of the Mississippi State, or the Mississippi River that goes down the side of the state.
But that's a different pod for a different time.
Exactly.
We'll get off in the weeds in that, and y'all don't want me to get started on the game day atmosphere. I know we're wrapping it up here, but this is a marquee game. Okay,
no doubt.
The atmosphere has to stay up here. I know y'all can't see my hand, but it's like way up here. You cannot have a lull. Okay, whether if it's the band, whether if it's the students, whether if it's all 20,000 of you. Okay, it has to stay loud. This team has never been an environment as rowdy and as loud as Bud Walton. You have to show them. This is like a conference game for us. This is like Kentucky coming in here. Okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You have to show them. You have to show them. This is how we play basketball here in the SEC, and this is how we do it at Arkansas.
Absolutely.
I'm with Loki on this. Call it what it is. Call it an Elite Eight preview. Hell, I'll go one further.
It could be.
I'll call it one further, and I think this is a Final Four preview. I think this is for a spot for the national title.
I mean, it could be. Arkansas's got a lot to clean up if they're going to get to that point. But I have a feeling we're going to play a lot better tonight.
MC, did you take your blood pressure meds?
Yeah, but it's not going to matter. I'm going to be all over the place, man.
So, Logan, y'all send me your pronunciation keys because I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to just call you Logan. How about that? What about Tremont being out? Going to need some boys to step up. And we talked about this earlier, but we'll gladly recap and cover it again.
Next man up.
Who is the next man up?
Well, Battles has to have a really good game tonight. He has to have a really good game. But you've got to have – I'll tell you who's got to step up. There's 2 guys that come to my mind that were basically non-existent in the Bahamas tournament.
Okay.
L. Ellis.
That was one.
Trayvon Brazil.
Yeah, what happened to him?
He had a lot of rebounds, but especially the game against North Carolina, I'm not sure he scored that game.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
He had a really bad night against North Carolina.
I want to apologize if we did not get to your comments. They were off the chain tonight.
And they were coming in faster than we could keep up with them.
We're going to try to figure it out. We're getting better every show. So, bear with us. Guys, I can't say it enough. I love each and every one of you. All right. For what you guys
have a show.
What you guys have done for us.
Yeah.
There is no greater fans than the ITHP family. All right. I got 2 shout outs though. Okay.
All right.
The volleyball team. Holy hell, son.
Absolutely.
Let's go win us a title. But Hunter Yurachek needs to be fired. If y'all want to know how I feel about that, go listen to the podcast. Go listen to the football wrap-up. You'll hear it. All right. And then number 2, I'm glad Sarah's not on the show for what I'm about to say, but how many schools can say they've got a soccer player going to play basketball?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get to talk about that, man.
B, you have to use your hands. Don't kick the ball into this net, okay? That's all I'm going to say. But you go get them, girl. Go for it. Go for it. That's all I'm saying. There's another comment here. This is, Ronnie Bueller says, this is an in-season championship game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mama Linda, Zach, get ready for me to blow up your phone during this game. I may put you, look, I love it when fans text me, but I do not know as much basketball. I'm going to have to refer you to this guy. So I'm going to get his okay to put you in a chat with him. I'll be there too. But y'all's passion for basketballs. I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Man, I have like 5 in-game chats going on every game anyway. What's one more?
Right? So. Right? So, let's see. Take phone calls. We're going to look into that. I've mentioned that a couple times. Working on it. It's a little weird. With
us not being in the same location, the setup on it is a little different than normal. So that's the kinks that we're trying to work out and overcome right now. But let's just say testing is, we're trying to figure out a good way to make that happen.
Dude, y'all, if y'all could see what we have in the lab. I'm just going to say it. Your heads would explode. We have got some stuff coming down the pipe that is going to make y'all go crazy.
We got some big plans.
We have had, I know we're wrapping up here because game time is approaching, but we have had so many people reach out to us and want us to do more content. And by God, I have been bugging MC. We've got to get, what are we doing? How can we do this? How can we do this? How can we? It's a miracle this man hasn't quit on me yet. All right,
we'll get y'all. Just bear with us on the extra content because I'm fighting. Not only am I fighting the schedule around Razorback games, I'm also working around my daughter's high school games, and then my 2 sons. Now, right at the moment, they're not playing anything right now, but that'll be changing very soon.
And then of course,
we got holidays on top of it. So
yeah. And I look, y'all are going to be without me for a month. So everybody, don't worry. I'll pop
up about that next man up mentality, man.
Hey,
golly.
You gotta sit in the big chair sometime, big man. Woo. Hey, it wouldn't be an episode of ITHP without Brad, pointing out. I'll tell you right now, I failed land nav. Not afraid to say it. Every single person in my platoon failed land nav. All right, just gonna say that. But Brad, man, hey, just remember, you're making fun of me, but we kicked your ass. Just going to say that. Hey, big thank you to everybody tonight. Y'all are awesome as always. Be watching the podcast. So if you're not subscribed to it, subscribe to it because you're going to miss the extra content because it's only going to be found there. You can
recap what we've done here tonight. If you want to go back and listen to any part of it, tonight's show will be in audio format in a podcast on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, iHeart, Radio Public, and everywhere except Google. I'm working on adding a couple more. I'm looking at trying to get us on Pandora, and there was one other one that I was trying to get us on too.
Cody is begging us before we get off of here to call the Hogs. Let me turn me down here.
I mean, if we're going to do this,
if the fans want it,
if we're going to do this, woo, my head has grown since 1994. Good Lord.
And for those that know me, I'm going to do it. And you know what I'm talking about. You ready, MC? I'm going to let you lead it.
All right, here we go. Let me get my hat right. Ooh, pig, suey.
Louder.
Ooh, pig, suey.
Louder, damn it.
Ooh, pig, suey, Razorbacks.
Let's go, baby.
All right, let's do it. Hey, we didn't come to paint tonight. We came to win the game.
No, we didn't. That's going to do it for us. There ain't no better way to get out of here than that right there. Whoo, I got chills. God bless. Woo, let's go, baby. I'm pumped.
Let's do it.
Marcus MC Carlton. I'm Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Until next time, go Hogs. Tune in to Duke. It's game time, peeps. So long, everybody.